Hello and welcome to another episode of Atomic Vinyl Reviews. My name is Jacob and today we've got another episode of the AVR Kaiju news broadcast, or whatever I call it. We got a lot of news this time, so this episode is basically just encapsulating all the brand new news as of the 29th of the 1st, 2021. I know a lot of this stuff you'd probably have already heard about and seen if you've been following all the Kaiju Facebook posts and stuff, if you follow those groups there, but I wanted to encapsulate all of it in this one little news video for you guys, because there's a lot of really cool stuff that has just been announced in the last few days. Let's start off with the brand new trailer for Godzilla vs. Kong. This is kind of old news now, so everything I'm bringing up now is stuff that we have only found out about since the trailers dropped, so come on, all of you guys have heard about that. I've got like 2 videos about that already up on my channel, and I'm still planning on doing an analysis video in the near future. So that's old news. Let's jump into some of the new stuff, because it is really exciting. In action figure news, we have 2 new Godzilla vs. Kong SH MonsterArts figures to celebrate the release of the upcoming movie. So we've got, in the left-hand corner, Godzilla 2021, which is, for all intents and purposes, just a complete remold of the 2019 MonsterArts figure, but they have changed the hands and the paintwork across his back and his mouth and his eyes. And in the right-hand corner, we have finally, since like, I think the last one came out in like 2013, 2014, we have a King Kong figure, or Kong figure, just for legal reasons, because, you know, the MonsterVerse Kong is just Kong. I'm so happy about this, guys, because I've really wanted a MonsterVerse Kong from MonsterArts for so long. It's going to be super articulated, beautifully sculpted, just really well made, as you naturally expect from a MonsterArts figure. And here we go, got these really cool images of them here. So let's dive in, take a closer look at these 2. Here we got some nice images of the Godzilla figure. As you can see, he does look identical, absolutely identical to the 2019 version. So I have looked up and down this entire figure, I've looked at comparison photos, all that good stuff, and aside from the pose of the hands, I am convinced this is 100% the exact same mold, the exact same figure as the 2019 version. Now, some people are like, oh, I think the face is different, or something's different in the neck. No, they're not. They're really not. The neck, like, sometimes you can get this figure to have a more bulging shape on his neck, and then if you kind of angle it down, that disappears, and my one's head tends to pop off quite a lot, but if it doesn't, then you can you can get that to more or less disappear depending on how you angle it. There's a lot of little floaty bits in the neck, so you can kind of get the neck on the original to look a lot of different ways. And I've looked it up and down, and the actual sculpt is identical. It really is. I really doubt that MonsterArts would have gone out of their way, or Tamashii would have gone out of their way to actually mold new pieces just for, like, almost completely unnoticeable minor details, unless they're significant. So the only ones that I can detect are, again, the hands, which I actually really dig the hands on this thing. They're in this sort of grasping, like, pose, as opposed to just the kind of, I don't know what you call it, so the neutral pose of the previous one, where he just kind of has his hands, you know, dangling down a little bit, just in this sort of really poised position. But here, he's got these sort of, you know, aggressive looking hands, kind of like he does in that screenshot that we've all seen of Godzilla and Kong on the aircraft carrier together. The paintwork, I don't know. I do like that they did add color to the spines, because one of the things that I've always had a minor issue with the legendary Godzilla design is the really, really neutral paint tone. Like, if you look at the 2019 MonsterArts, he is all gray. All one tone of gray, actually. That's accurate to the film as well, guys. It is pretty much accurate. Even down to his claws. They are pretty much the same color as his body. His spines are the same color. everything except for his teeth, the inside of his mouth, and his eyes is the same color. Same with the X Plus figure. I'll be doing an unboxing of this thing, or releasing an unboxing of this thing rather, because I've clearly unboxed it already, in the next few videos. So that'll be coming out soon. But same with that one. They're accurate to the film, but they're just bland looking. So I appreciate this attempt to actually make this figure pop. However, I feel like it's a little lazy from Tamashi's part, because they did release the Spitfire version where he actually had the clear blue spines. I would have just preferred a re-release of that, to be honest, with these new hands. Like, I know, like, this just feels a bit cash grabby to me, where they're just like, yeah, we painted this metallic blue over his spines, and now it's an all-new figure. Give us your money, guys. And I mean, I totally did. I've already pre-ordered both of these figures. I don't have the version of this figure with the actual clear blue spines, or that, like, entirely blue one. So, I would have actually preferred those, but they're hard to get now. I am really looking forward to these hands as well. So I don't know. We'll see what it looks like in person. Maybe the silvery blue will look really great in person. I think it does look better than the 2019 release, where there's no shading on his spines at all. But I would have probably just preferred if the design itself, from the get-go, had like that bone-colored shading around it like you see on classic Godzilla designs, because that actually really made the spines look really great in the movies. Like, they do have the cool effect in the films where they do kind of radiate from within with that blue lighting, and that looks good in the movies, and it looks effective there, but in figure form, it really doesn't translate very well, because when you're trying to mimic lighting with paint, you rarely get a convincing effect, and that's kind of why I have a lot of issues with a lot of figures like this, or even like the Shin Godzilla figures. That Godzilla had the same issue of just, it was almost pitch black, or really dark gray, and he had like red radiating from him in the film, and that looked great in the film. But in figure form, when you're trying to mimic that lighting, it just looks messy, and that's why a lot of Shin Godzilla figures had really poor paint work, because people were just trying to mimic that, and it didn't really come out very nice. Anyway, let's take a little read of this little blurb here. So, based on the data material of the movie, this is three-dimensionalized by modeling and coloring by Mr. Yuji Sakai. Glad to hear that, because Yuji Sakai, he's the dude. Like, he's the guy behind most of the MonsterArts sculpts, like one of the leading Godzilla modeling in Japan. Again, this is translated from Japanese, so it's a little bit weirdly phrased, but you get the gist. Mitsushiko Hasoka sorry if I pronounced that really badly, who has created the movable mechanism of successful SH MonsterArts. Okay, so they're one of the engineers working on these figures. That's nice. I'll probably research this person later on. I want to learn more about that, because that's always something I've wondered about. Like, the design process of these figures must be really, really tricky. Really, like, technical, because these things are... They're not your everyday sort of figures. There's a lot of technique to putting these together and making them as seamless and well engineered as they are. So I really appreciate the engineering that goes into these things. So good on ya. Realize the movement without breaking the proportions. The characteristic back fin's light emission is the play is reproduced with realistic metal paint. I can see that. I don't know how realistic it looks in these photos. I mean, these photos are gorgeous, by the way. I love the background and everything there. MonsterArts production shots of these things are really good, usually. Various poses can be reproduced with a wide range of motion. So yeah, all the classic MonsterArts stuff. And I basically think if you have this figure, the 2019 version, you know what to expect with this figure. Anyway, let's move along, because I probably spent too long talking about this figure here, because you guys already know all about that figure. But now we can talk about Kong. And I love this photo here. He's just kind of floating in the air with that axe. You can also actually get a really good look at this axe. People have been saying this is probably a Godzilla spine or Godzilla species spine that's using this axe, and I'm pretty much convinced as well. I mean, it is like blue here. We saw it in the trailer. It really does look like it. You can see it's even built on a bone. I wonder what kaiju's bone this would be, because this is a huge bone. Like, it would even be longer if it actually had the other tip of it, but it's actually been kind of sculpted down to a point on this size. But it's much longer than any of the limbs of our kaiju in these films so far, so that's kind of cool to see. Yeah, I really love the look of this Kong here. Really, really nice, very tight looking joints. There doesn't appear to be any major gaps on him, like maybe just something around here, but that's, you know, we don't worry about these things too much with our MonsterArts figures, but in particular around the chest, that looks nice and tight. There's no real huge gaps there, which looks great. The sculpt, again, looks excellent. And, yeah, we don't really have a good version of Kong from MonsterArts. We have, like, the original Kong that they put out in, like, again, 2013, 2014, or whenever that came out. And that was meant to be the Peter Jackson's King Kong, but it was extremely stylized, and I was never quite partial to it. So I don't have a version of that one. I can't really compare the two. But I'm finally glad they put out this one, because they didn't put out one for the Skull Island movie, and that made me a bit sad. But now we actually have one, so really good. I'm really excited for this figure in particular. So you can see we got a separate head to put on this Kong, so he doesn't have an articulated jaw, but he does have two separate heads at least. We've only seen these two in the promotional shots. We have the closed mouth version where he looks really grumpy. I'm not particularly a fan of this one. It's a little bit bleh. I'd have maybe liked a slightly different expression. This one, I guess it's not bad. Don't get me wrong, it's not bad, but the open mouth one is so much more expressive. I really like this one. But this one, especially since the paintwork on him, again, seems to be very flat. He just seems to be one color of brown. I'm not seeing much in terms of paintwork. It makes this version of him just look like he's literally made of a block of chocolate. So I like the open mouth version because you can see the whites of his teeth and the red of his mouth. It makes it, again, more expressive. That looks really good. This one, I'm probably not going to have him displayed with this head. But again, the figure in general looks really good. He's got good, nice proportions. He looks very solidly built. Looks pretty accurate to the film as well. Very cool. Got also nice scarring down his chest and all that stuff. Let's read this bit. So again, it's based off data material of the movie. It is three-dimensionalized by modeling and coloring by Mr. Shunzen Takeuchi, an animal modeler. Smart making modeling from the skeleton, add muscles and hair, and realize more realistic and close to modeling in the what the hell does that say? I don't know. Mitsushiko Hosokawa, who has created movable mechanisms of successful MonsterArts, has realized the movement without breaking the proportions. So again, same dude engineered it. Includes an axe, weapon parts. Various poses can be reproduced with a wide range of motion. And it is really cool that we do get this gorilla walking pose. You can also see he does have different hands here, because he's got the axe holding hand here, and he's got this knuckle walking hand here, fist sort of hands, and he's got open hands as well. So that's really cool. He comes with a bunch of other hands. I don't know how much I like the look of this pose here. I feel like it's really cool to get him in this sort of gorilla walking pose, but his head looks a little bit low. It looks like a person trying to knuckle walk rather than an ape. Like, I feel like his arms, they should be able to squeeze in more to lift his shoulders up a bit higher and have his head up a little higher. Like, his eye line is in line with his butt here. And that's... it doesn't look quite right. Like, I feel like there should be more of a bend here. His shoulders should be a little higher. And his head maybe even a bit higher. And that would look more natural. This looks awkward, so... I'm glad he's able to do that, but it's not quite there, is all I'm saying. Not that I'm complaining, because again, by the looks of it, the figure is really great in all other ways, so that's pretty sweet. I'm super excited for this one. And this is a recreation of that shot that I was saying on the aircraft carrier using these figures, and that looks great. Like, if you didn't look closely, you probably couldn't tell that that's not from the movie, so I really like that. And again, this open mouth version of Kong's face looks great here. You can also see he's got that much more bushy beard compared to the one he had in the Skull Island film. Really good look at the axe here. You can see it's got like this weird That could be like kaiju leather, it looks like it, because there's these little bumps on this, this whatever it's wrapped in here that's holding this bit of, I'm again assuming it's a Godzilla spine. Might not be our Godzilla's spine, it could be like an ancient Godzilla's spine. I'm guessing he gets this axe, he finds it somewhere in the hollow earth, because that's what the trailer kind of implied at least. But that looks cool. I wonder if this will be made of like a clear blue plastic, actually, and that this will be painted. Because that's what it looks like. It looks lit up from behind. That's what I'm guessing with this piece, and I would ideally like that. But who knows, maybe it's just painted blue. So yeah, those are the MonsterArts figures. They're the main thing this video's about, but it turns out there's actually quite a lot more going on in the Godzilla world. So let's jump to the next figure news, which is the announcement of the Godzilla vs. Kong Funko Pop Vinyl figures. Finally, we get a good look at these things, because for a long time, we've known that Funko are planning to put out pop vinyls for this movie, and we haven't had any pictures of them, but now we have a pretty good look at all of them. This is a nice little picture showing what most of these pop vinyls will look like. We got the 10-inch size, so these are those really big pop vinyls of both Godzilla and Kong. I'm loving these designs. They look really effective, in particular Godzilla, because the previous Godzilla pop vinyls that we've gotten, I'm not a huge fan of. I own it. I have it somewhere in this chaos of a mess. I actually saw it not long ago when I was moving stuff around. So I do have like the plain version of the previous pop vinyl, but I'm not a huge fan of it. For whatever reason, they added scaling across like his brow in that one, and he just looks too cutesy in my eyes. It's an okay pop vinyl, but I thought they could have done a little bit better. And then seeing this, even though, you know, I'm less a fan of the Legendary Pictures Godzilla design compared to like the classic Japanese versions, I think this looks excellent. They captured the look and feel of the design beautifully. The detail and the scaling looks really good. And the black eyes actually look really effective on him. So I'm really digging it. And this Kong looks pretty sweet too. In particular, some of his more fearsome designs with the little axe here, or he's holding something else in this one with the scarring across his chest and stuff. Yeah, looking really cool. So finally we get some pop vinyls, and there's lots of variety of these too. So I'm going to try and get all of them if I can. We will see. We've also got some Walmart exclusive versions apparently. So this is like a blue tinted one. And in a second I'm actually going to show you a video which actually seems to show the real things. These are just like concept images of like the 3D models. But there are actually videos of the figures in plastic form, which I'll show you in a second. But yeah, nice color scheme for these sort of Walmart exclusives. I don't know if I'll be able to get them because I live in Australia, but I found ways of, like, if you have a connection to the internet, you can eventually find like Walmart exclusive being sold online internationally. So, well, I'll try and get them if I can too. We'll see. I might just get the standard ones if I just run out of space. But here we go. Here's a little random video I found. It's probably a TikTok by somebody. I don't know. But anyway, you can see there's the big blue boy. Whoops. The big blue boy. There's the purple Kong. Looking really cool. I like actually seeing these in plastic. And there's the little figures, so all the way down to like little keyring versions. I'm really digging these. I collect pop vinyls, but like mainly musicians, like rock musicians. So I don't collect many other pop vinyls, but I'll definitely be picking these up. Particularly with this one with Godzilla's atomic breath. I actually really like the paint work on him. He's got the blue spines, you can see on the back. They painted his claws black, so that's a bit of color variation. Think about that, MonsterArts. We've got this really cool beam effect. I like the look of it. It looks like translucent plastic. And they colored his eyes in blue instead of the black. So that's actually different from what they're showing here with the black eyes. Same with these blue variants of the Walmart exclusives. They do have different colored eyes, like the big blue eyes on this one here. Looks really effective. This one's going to be cool no matter which version of the figure you get, I assume, because yeah, this is the big 10-inch one I'm thinking. This Kong looks really cool too. Very bright purple. I don't know why they chose these colors. I wonder if this will have anything to do with what we actually see in the movie, but I like the look of him. He's got the nice fearsome face. Again, the paintwork looks quite effective on his face as well, with the variation between the nice black eyes and the bone white teeth. That looks pretty sweet. Again, I really have to get this Godzilla. I love the look of this one. Got the little Kong here. His beard looks kind of funny since it's in pop vinyl form. He looks a lot more goofy than Godzilla, I'd say. And he's holding something there, so we'll see what that is later in the film. And then there's the little axe version of the mini one there. So I think those will ultimately be key rings. He's got orange eyes too, so some of these actually do have orange eyes, if you see here. So these are like the battle-ready Kong, so I wonder if that'll have any implications in the film as well, if like these sort of red glowing orangey eyes. Fascinating. And I think that is it when it comes to the pop vinyls. If you don't want spoilers, that is. So, hold on a second, I'm going to bring up an image that has been circling around on the internet, which may contain spoilers. So, this image has also been circulating, and as you can see here, we have this, number 1019, Mechagodzilla. Yes, it's pretty much been confirmed in so many leaks and in shots in the trailer that you can just barely make out, but they're there, that Mechagodzilla is going to be the third kaiju, or major kaiju, in Godzilla vs. Kong. We don't really know his role in the movie, but we can all guess. And this image seems to be one of the clearest ones we've gotten of this kaiju so far, aside from the toy leaks from Playmates toys, which I've done a video about in the past. They're also really blurry images, which is a bummer. But yeah, this appears to be an upcoming pop vinyl of Mechagodzilla. Now, I'm not sure how convinced I am that this is real. This does appear to be like the back of a pop vinyl box, which is showing the whole line of pop vinyl figures. You can see we've got all the names of the Godzillas. We've got the 10-inch Godzilla, 10-inch Kong, regular Godzilla, Heat Ray Godzilla, Mechagodzilla, Battle Ready Kong, Kong with Battle Axe, and then we got Battle Scarred Kong, and he's holding something in his hand there. I'm not sure if this is real, because again, you can see this image is really blurry, and I figured like, just because an image is like a leak doesn't necessarily mean it has to be a blurry image. Like, most people have high-res cameras in their phones these days, so they can probably sneak in a pretty good clear shot of like anything. So perhaps this is just like a weird Photoshop, a deep fake if you will. But I'm willing to bet that this is probably real. It does look fairly real, and I mean, we are pretty much confirmed getting Mechagodzilla in this film. We can't really tell much about the design from this photo, although I do like it from what I'm seeing, as blurry as it is. He looks like a weird metal gecko. It's kind of cute looking. I'm really keen to see what this thing will actually look like, because we can, again, barely make this thing out. That's what we got in terms of pop vinyls, and I really can't wait till we actually get a reveal of this thing properly. In further action figure news, there are now photos circulating around the internet of a brand new repaint of NECA's King Kong figure. So I've done an unboxing and a little review of this figure, of the original figure so far. Basically what it is like NECA's own interpretation of King Kong. It's not based on any specific movie, although he kind of, with specifically this face, appears to look like the 33 Kong, but he's just way too long. Like, his body and his legs are way too long. He doesn't have that really broad-shaped build of the original Kong, so he's just this, like, weird-looking thing. But I do like that figure, and these are a poster version by the looks of it. So here's what the front of the box looks like. It's again going this weird sort of style that NECA have been doing with a lot of their figures. I think it started with a lot of their like 8-bit figures, where they were like trying to imitate like that 8-bit sprite look from various video games and like the Alien and Predator figures, and then it's spread into a whole bunch of other figures, and it's just using these really contrasty paint patterns to just kind of create this weird looking effect on a figure. I don't know how I feel about this one, and a lot of people, pretty much universally what I've heard people say about this particular paint job is it's not really looking all that great. I can see why. It just kind of looks like somebody threw a bunch of paint at Kong, at least from a distance. On the other hand, I do see what they were going for. It's got like that kind of sharp highlight kind of thing going on, but like, I mean, really, it kind of looks like this weird camo paint as well, but I mean, is this really the best they could do? I don't know. It's a bit weird. It's a little bit weird. Like, I see what they're going for. I do. But I don't know. It looks like there's just mustard dripping down him or something. We'll have to see. This could just be prototypes. We don't really know how it'll turn up in the end. But it is what it is. You can actually go down here. This is some random page. And there's pretty much not very good reviews or comments from people because, like, that's just too goofy. Kind of an odd-looking deco. Glad I'm not too interested in it, since it's an exclusive. Timed exclusive, available in general regular retailer stores after a month or so. So it's some sort of an exclusive. Again, I'm not super interested in it. Maybe if I find it locally in like a year when it'll actually hit Australian shops, I might take a look at it. I might pick it up, but not super interested. So what does it say in here? We have an in-hand preview of the upcoming Deluxe King Kong Illustrated version figure by NECA Toys. Our friends at NECA have sent over the figure for review, and we're currently working on our own photo gallery for the figure. That gallery should live in the coming days, or should be live, sorry, I'm shit at reading. For now, we have a few in-hand photos to share, giving fans an advanced look at the redeco of their King Kong figure. The illustrated King Kong figure features a paint scheme that pays homage to the classic posters for the films, a line through it, probably for legal reasons. Basil Gogo's artwork for the cover of a 1974 issue of Famous Monsters of Filmland. It will initially be available exclusively at Walmart in their either February or March. After the timed exclusive ends, it will make its way to other retailers. You can see from our photos after the jump back this week's full gallery review. Okay, hey, let's take a look at this 1974 issue Monsters of Filmland. We'll see what this thing is trying to accomplish. That's probably what it is. Okay, so I think this is particularly what it's trying to reference. It's cool, and this is kind of what I was picturing they were going for. I don't really think it works as a figure, though. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think of this thing in the comments below. Like, I don't dislike it probably as much as some of the other people. Like, any repaint to me is kind of cool. But, there's a fine line between this looking really stylish and edgy and cool, like that image, or it just looking like a complete mess. Like, with a graphic image like that cover, you can see what the artist is going for. With a figure like this, it looks a little bit weird bootleggy. I don't know. Anyhows, I'm going to continue with the next piece of news we have on the agenda. The final thing in terms of figure news we have for this episode is there are a bunch of these Godzilla vs. Kong figures showing up on eBay from some random sellers in China. These appear to be either some prototypes or early release versions of upcoming figures from the Godzilla vs. Kong line from Playmates Toys. We have a bunch of these things. They are going for quite high prices, so basically, for about 171 schmackos, you can have yourself an unreleased Playmates Godzilla vs. Kong Mini Monster 6cm Hellhawk figure. Yeah, I'm not going to be forking out that much for these things. Or anything, really, until they actually show up for realistic prices later on. People are speculating whether these are real or bootlegs. We don't actually know at this point, but like, if we just jump to one of these, can have a look at these things. Oh, this actually ended, so somebody actually bought this thing for 104 schmackos, or 180 or just $80 US. Good for them. But here we can see we got this Hellbat, which is like that weird bat thing we saw in the trailer, which does make me think these probably are authentic, but they don't look particularly great. They look like these standard sort of little Playmates figures, and again, 6 centimeters tall, they're tiny, so, you know, we'll probably see these in the near future showing up in stores. At least in the US. Here in Australia, they don't seem to be showing any merchandise for this movie in stores, which is just a total bummer. We got the Skullcrawler, this weird Hellbat, and we have what is it called, Warbat here, which you've seen other figures of, and we got this little Kong and a little Godzilla. So yeah, all good standard stuff. Let's cut to some movie and TV show news now. Our first bit of TV show news is that there's apparently a Skull Island anime series on its way to Netflix, which is really exciting. So, along with Godzilla Singular Point, we're getting another anime. This time it's set in the Monsterverse. So let me just read this little thing here. This article starts out off saying there's also an anime of Lara Croft Tomb Raider. That's all good stuff. I don't really care about it though, because we're talking about kaiju news here, but that's just something that this article talks about. But from this middle paragraph, we get news about the Skull Island one. So, it says, and there's more anime on the way as well, with a series based on Skull Island and set in the same universe as Legendary's recent Godzilla and King Kong movies. The latest, Godzilla vs. Kong, is set to debut very soon. The tagline for the anime is, a shipwrecked crew, an island of monsters, and one king to rule them all. Both the Tomb Raider and Skull Island series are being produced by Legendary. And then it just goes on into some other crap that no one really cares about. But that's very exciting. I can't wait till we actually see some art for this thing, see what the art style's like. Fingers crossed it is hand-drawn animation. Please, that will make me so happy. That's one thing that I really enjoyed about seeing the Godzilla Singular Point trailer. They used a lot of hand-drawn animation in that. I don't want to see another Godzilla Planet of the Monsters CG animation thing. I don't want to see another Kong King of Apes or whatever the hell that other Kong animated series on Netflix is. Strange fact. The most viewed video on this channel is my review of that Kong King of Apes anime. It's not even an anime, it's just like a CGI animated series on Netflix that they have currently. It's a really shitty video, my review of it, like really bad. And somehow it's the most viewed thing on my channel. That pisses me off to no end. Like, I'm tempted to delete that video just for that fact. But at the same time, it's the most viewed thing on my channel. Like, I feel like I'd be, you know, losing something there. But it just ticks me off that when somebody looks at, like, the most popular stuff on my channel, that's the first thing. I don't know. You can't really choose what becomes popular or not on your channel when you do YouTube. So that's just kind of funny. But hopefully this will be very different from that, because that's like a really child-friendly, awkward series. It's weird. I don't know. I had mixed feelings on it. I enjoyed it because it was dumb and fun, but it was mostly dumb and less fun. But hopefully this one will be good. I really hope we get more from the character played by, what was his name? John C. Reilly. Sorry, I had just a mind blank there. But yeah, I really loved his character in the Skull Island film, so I really want them to bring him back. Like, if he could voice, like, the younger version of himself, for example, and, like, just be the crazy kook on the island when these, like, shipwrecked people show up, that would make me so happy. And especially if they, like, build on that relationship between his character and that, like, I think it was a Japanese fighter pilot that they both crashed and started fighting, but then they like became really good friends, and there's like this whole backstory that they didn't really explore all that much in the Skull Island film, but I really enjoyed that element of it. I really want them to explore that with this anime series. That would make me so happy, because that's like a movie I've wanted them to put in this Monsterverse for so long, ever since I saw Kong Skull Island. So, they might do it. I really, really freaking hope so. Anyway, let's continue. We got some more TV, I don't know what to call it, streaming TV show news. What do we call these things these days? So apparently there is a Monarch, which is the like secret agency that like focuses on all the kaijus and titans and stuff in the MonsterVerse universe. They're starting a Monarch series, or putting it into development at HBO Max. So this also just came out, and that's very exciting because that means we're getting two, basically, series set in this MonsterVerse after Godzilla vs. Kong. So whether we get more movies or not, we're gonna get a lot more content in this universe to help flesh it out. This is very exciting. Reading this article here, fans of Legendary Pictures' MonsterVerse are eagerly anticipating the long-awaited blockbuster Godzilla vs. Kong, as we wait for a first trailer, which we already got. So I guess this article came out just before the trailer dropped. FandomWire can exclusively reveal that HBO Max is developing a MonsterVerse series revolving around the secret scientific organization, Monarch. What is Monarch, you ask? Introduced in the 2014 Godzilla reboot, Monarch was founded in 1946 by American President Harry S. Truman to investigate the sinking of the USS Lawton by a gigantic creature, or massive unidentified terrestrial organism, MUTO. Monarch soon expanded into an international organization. In 1954, it was involved in an attempt to kill Godzilla and the Shinomura with hydrogen bomb detonations at Bikini Atoll. The organization's next breakthrough came in 1973, when Monarch agents attached to a Landsat expedition discovered an incredible ecosystem of Skull Island, and the ancient rivalry between its guardian, Kong, and the Maraluding, I don't know what that word is, Skullcrawlers. The organization has played a big role throughout Legendary's MonsterVerse, so it's no surprise that HBO Max would want to make an Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.-esque spin-off. We currently don't have any other details or any word on who will direct or produce. However, we do want to stress that this project is in the early stages of development. It's important to stress that in development means teams connected to Warner Bros. And Legendary are prepping and writing the following projects. It does not guarantee they will make it to air. This is exciting. I really hope it does make it to air. I hope it's good. I hope we see more Toho Kaiju, or we explore some of the ones they did show off in the rest of the MonsterVerse film, like all the other Kaiju. This is actually a perfect shot here, despite it being very hard to make out what's going on. Yeah, that movie was very foggy. He had, like, all those other Kaiju that showed up, like Cilia, or whatever that one was called. The big mammoth thing, Behemoth, and that other mountain one. There were the other Muto figures, all that cool stuff, and hopefully more Toho Kaiju. That would be so cool if they explore it in this series. I also wonder when this will, like, take place. Will this be something taking place in the past of the MonsterVerse? In the future? It could be like a period drama. That would be pretty sweet. I would like that if it was set in, like, I don't know, maybe if it was set in, like, Showa-era Japan. That would be pretty sweet, like the Showa-era Godzilla movies. That was really cool. We got 2 of these shows coming up, plus the Toho anime series, Godzilla Singular Point, which will be a thing really soon as well. Man, all this kaiju stuff. I was just worried that it would kind of dry up after Godzilla vs. Kong, but it looks like we're going to have a lot more to sink our teeth into, even if they're not full blockbuster movies. So, although Toho are actually planning to make more movies as well, so Jesus, there's a lot coming out. And finally, I'm going to cap off this video by saying that the trailer for Shin-Ultraman has just dropped. I'm not going to be watching it right now because I'm actually going to do a reaction to this trailer probably right after filming this. So that's going to be a separate video, but if you're not familiar, that's a new word, familiar, the director Hideaki Anno, who produced and directed Shin Godzilla, is making an Ultraman movie, hence Shin-Ultraman, and I'm so excited for this. Like, I'm not a a huge Ultraman guy. I've actually watched very little Ultraman. I've been wanting to dig into it because it seems right up my alley. I mean, obviously, I'm a huge Kaiju Godzilla fan, so it seems just perfect. But for whatever reason, I've never actually sat down and watched much Ultraman. But I'll definitely be checking this thing out, and I'm so excited because Shin Godzilla is one of my favorite movies of all time. So I really want to see what they will do with Ultraman. This trailer seems to only be 36 seconds long, so it's probably just a teaser at best. But it's pretty good like to dislike ratio for this video, even though they turned off the comments, which is always a red flag. But whatever. We'll watch this video shortly in my next video, so stay tuned for that, guys. I'm sorry this video has been extremely long, but I just really wanted to sink my teeth into all this stuff, and for anyone still watching this video all the way up to the end, thank you. I really appreciate it, and yeah, let me know in the comments below what you think about this stuff. What are you most excited for, and if there's anything that I've missed, also let me know down below. But it just blows my mind that since the trailer dropped, all of these things have just been announced. It's a lot of stuff. A lot. I'm just kind of paralyzed right now of freaking out because my wallet might not be able to handle all of this, because there's going to be a lot of figures coming out from all this crap, isn't there? Anyway, guys, take care. I'll see you guys in my next video, but until then, may all your vinyl be a radiated vinyl. Over and out. Bye.